Good evening, everybody. We are so happy to be here this evening as we kick off the 2022 Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival. We're coming to you from the Expo Folklore Society in beautiful downtown Richmond, Virginia. And we're going to have an amazing time this evening with author and artist Stephanie Rose Bird. So make yourselves comfortable. We're going to wait a little while, let some people come into the room and have a conversation that you will remember and be glad that you were a part of. We're happy to see you coming on in. So we're going to be here and start the conversation in just a few minutes. Please get your comments and questions ready. We will be monitoring what you say so that we can ask our guest author to respond. Get yourself comfortable, make you a cup of tea. And we'll be beginning very shortly. It's the Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival, starting tonight with author Stephanie Rose Bird. Here's her book, The Healing Power of African American Spirituality. You know you don't want to miss this, because I don't know anybody who couldn't appreciate some opportunities to heal. I don't know anybody who couldn't appreciate that. So right with you, I'm going to be leaning in, listening to the Empress, Stephanie Rose Bird, about this, the healing power of African American spirituality, a celebration of ancestor worship, herbs and hoodoo, ritual and conjure. How can you not be glad to be here with us this evening? We see a few more folks getting ready to join, and we appreciate your faces in the place. Here's the cover of the book. Keep it in your mind. I'm Omilade Janine Bell from the Expo Folklore Society, and I have with me author and artist Stephanie Rose Bird. Stephanie, did you also design the cover for the book?
I did not. I love it though.
It is a beautiful cover.
Yeah, it's so rich and deep and powerful.
Well, it makes me think and feel that I can trust the contents.
Yes.
It makes me feel that I can trust the contents, and we're going to dig in.
Yes.
To those things this evening. We'll wait a moment or two longer, and then we're going to jump right in.
Okay.
We're so happy to have you, and we're happy to have Those of you who are joining us on Facebook Live from the Alegba Folklore Society, you know, when we come to you because something is important to share and something that you will benefit from. And tonight, let me tell you, is no exception. I have enjoyed reading through this book, and you will too.
Hello,
Indeed.
hello. Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank all of you for being here.
Absolutely. Stephanie Rose Bird is a visual artist and an author, or maybe I should say an author. She has several volumes. We're only going to just talk about one tonight, and a visual artist. We're going to talk tonight about her newest book, The Healing Power of African American Spirituality, a celebration of ancestor worship. Y'all know what time it is. Herbs and hoodoo, ritual and conjure. This book is a fabulous resource for anyone who wants to understand African spirituality or African American spirituality. We're going to get into the difference there in a few minutes. For anyone who wants to understand shamanism and indigenous spiritual practices and beliefs. Stephanie Rose Bird is a member of the American Botanical Council's Herb Research Society. And let me tell you, they got the right one, baby. She is a part of the American Folklore Society, the Society for Shamanic Practices, practices and practitioners. I'm gonna get it right. The International Center for Traditional Childbearing, Black Midwives and Healers, the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. Are you all figuring out that we have someone tonight who knows what she's talking about? And I'm not done. And the National Association of Holistic Aromatherapy. She is also a part of the Authors Guild. She is a scholar, graduating from Temple University with honors. And she has been a member of the College Arts Association and, are y'all ready for this? The Fulbright Foundation. I know, take a minute, take a breath. Take a minute and take a breath. Feel free to share comments and questions with us so that you are right a part of this conversation from the beginning. That's what we want to have happening. So, may I call you Stephanie?
Absolutely.
The book is, again, The Healing Power of African American Spirituality, a celebration of ancestor worship, herbs and hoodoo, ritual and conjure. That's a brew in itself.
Yes.
We discuss, some seek knowledge, some practice forms of African spirituality, but we don't usually hear the term African American spirituality. What is it?
It's deep and vast and as varied as we are, first of all. So I can't speak for all of it. I come to it through folklore and through the hoodoo and conjure and root work traditions. So That's what I'm speaking about. I really hope that the title doesn't like confuse people and make them think of a particular religion because it's not religious. We have that going on a lot too. And I was brought up through the church. But spirituality is natures of the spirit. And with my work, we go to the motherland to pull and extract the beauty of spirit from Africa and the diaspora. So
Going to the source, the motherland.
yes,
And when we go to the motherland, which of course is not a long time ago and far away,
right,
is right here, right now, energizing itself in this moment.
yes,
But as Africans in America, where some of us feel a partial association, but where at best we have, or Africans born in America, I guess I should say, where
yes.
at best we have lineage, let's talk about ancestors. Let's talk about the ancestors. Let's talk about the earth
Hmm.
and
Okay.
healing. Is there
Okay.
a connecting thread?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, I feel like everything that I do is informed by the ancestors. They tell me every um, potion and ritual and ceremony that I bring forth to you all. It all comes through the ancestors. And then communing with the earth mother, is like the conduit. It's like the way that I um, have access to the ancestors, particularly my African ancestors. And, one of the things that I wanted to mention is that my father's family are all from Richmond, Virginia. They're from um, the plantation there. That's the enslaved ancestors of mine are from Richmond area. So it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be coming to the Facebook crowd through the Lake Bluff Folklore Society for sure. Um, Means a lot. I'm all like a lot of my work right now, after this healing power of African American spirituality, I'm writing an ancestry magic book. So
Ooh.
that's like really where my head is right now, is really with ancestry. And I've done a lot of like deep study of the DNA ancestry. And I have so much, I actually have heritage from every race um, on earth, but my African ancestry is so like deep and to me just so beautiful and reaffirming. It's like affirming to me to know the groups of people that I come from. So yes.
So you talk about the power of the ancestors. Will you let us know as that next book is progressing?
Yes, most definitely. It's progressing slowly, but it's coming. I'm
Yes, yes. Well, take your time, my sister. Take your
Yeah,
time.
I'm doing a lot, but it's coming to me.
So as I listen to you reflect about this connecting thread,
Mhm.
tell us about the divinity in the thread.
Yes. Are you talking about like deity, um,
Just
like
however
gods
you,
and goddesses?
yeah, just however it comes to you. Is there divinity in the thread? I mean, I think, divinity is everywhere all the time. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be defined in any particular way, or it could
Yeah.
be. So What do you say?
I say for sure, absolutely. I'm a big believer in spirit, and I sort of get my bounce with divinity through earth magic and earth ritual, and just being in contact with the earth. So I see it as Earth Mother, the Great Mother, however you would like to phrase it. But one of my relatives she's very, very Christian, and um, she was talking about God, and I said, I know what you mean, but I see it as the goddess. And she didn't really blink. This is the beauty of our people. I mean, not everybody might be as accepting as her, but she got it. She looked at me, she sort of looked at me a little bit sideways, but she was like, okay, I can get that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really a stretch if you give yourself time to
Yeah.
just process what we're talking about.
Yes.
And, you know, and this is a part of why we offer the Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival, because there's
Mhm.
information that is just readily available that we can begin to connect to
Yes.
and feel better
Yes.
and feel better.
Mhm.
So your book, to me, is a magical book or a magical work,
Mhm.
or is it a work about a magical people?
Gosh, I think it's all of those things combined, because magic is at the heart of the work. And I believe that our people are and always have been magical people. So, um, yeah, it's all of the above for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
We're happy to welcome Yemaja Jubilee into the room. She's wishing us a joyful and blissful, soulful evening. Indeed. And now that the three of us are here, indeed, indeed. We have Christopher Rashad Green in the room. He brings greetings to the queens. I accept. What about you, Stephanie?
Absolutely.
He has a question asking, will you help him tap into the Kundalini power?
Mm. Some of my work does do that, like with the specific kinds of earth that is worked, the muds, the combination of the essential oils put in there, the breathing, pranayama. I I would hope that it would definitely help him tap into that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Christopher, we want you to know that we'll have the book itself here at the Alegba Folklore Society, and later on in the month, when the expo goes live at the Dominion Energy Center in Rhythm Hall on February 26th and 27th. So you can pick up a copy and get more information towards the answer to your question.
Yes.
Now, Queen Stephanie, since we all in our royal space today, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep it. You have a chapter in the book, Hoodoo and Holism.
Yes.
Does Hoodoo have a lineage in African American spirituality?
Oh, yes, for sure. It is really, Hoodoo is very practical. It's very practical. It's very much about the everyday, our daily concerns. Yet it reaches over into spirit realm to make the things happen that we need to happen, to like assert change, to affect change. So yeah, it
Yeah.
reaches over into spirit realm to make the things happen that we need to happen, to like assert change. Okay. You're
Okay.
there?
Yes.
Yeah.
My apologies. Now let me share with you one of your quotes. You say Hoodoo offers the ability to act on issues such as justice and social justice, which are challenging to address on the physical plane. Tell us
Yes.
more.
Yeah, that's become another big emphasis in my work. I'm writing articles about social justice and hoodoo and justice work. It is difficult for us. Obviously, many not. I don't like to generalize, but I will say that some of us don't have means to have really sort of expensive lawyers and go through the system in a way that is fair necessarily to us. So what Hoodoo does and has done since its start is it has a little like a line, a lineage to it that addresses justice. That has there are tricks and we call tricks. Other people would call them, magical workings or something like that. But they specifically and herbs too that are just for justice work. So
So you say tricks, and I can appreciate the term,
hmm
but when we think about, and going back again to that word divinity, the
yes,
divinity and the universal alignment and power that we carry inside each of us, we just have to tap into it
yes,
so that it's not so tricky. It's tricky
right.
because we're not really tapped in.
hmm
But if we just live in that space,
Yes, you're right. I mean, every day is magic. Every day you can pull magic to you from your daily walks to a drive and the wind hitting you in the face, the water that you intake, the water that you save up from the rain, from the different storms and thunderstorms and so forth, and reuse. Like magic is everywhere, all around us, and it's within us. Some of
and
the terminology, with hoodoo is from like the 1920s, 30s. It's a different sort of language, really. I honor it because I love traditional hoodoo, but I also look forward and know where we stand today is a bit different. So we don't really, trick is not a good word at all. We've been tricked enough, so it's not something that we exactly relish. So I appreciate you calling out that sort of that word so that I have the opportunity to explain the different place that we're standing today with it.
right. And then we can use it anyhow because we know where
Mhm.
we are
Right.
and who we are.
Mhm. Yes.
So you've been talking about nature
Yes.
and how that is a part of that who we are. Let's
Mhm.
journey for a moment to the secret life of plants. This is your painting morning ritual.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a trick is going to happen because of the magic and the oneness that is suggested.
Yes.
I see images of you in nature. I see images of you doing art in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Much of your art features intersecting florals.
Yes.
What do plants tell us? And how can we make them a part of our life? How can we use them as tools for identity and self-love?
Yes. I mean, and they offer so many opportunities for that, from the cotton and linen clothing that we can wear to the teas that we consume made from all different parts of trees and plants, you know, the flowers, the bark, the leaves, the stems, all of it we can respectfully and in great appreciation pull into our body so that we can have some of the power and the mystery that nature holds within in us. So we can clad ourselves in it, you know, and we can consume it. We can just meditate and reflect in it. Um, when I did that piece that you showed, which is, by the way, it is a preliminary sketch for a tapestry that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a painting in wool. I'm moving towards that where I
Oh.
want all natural, like hand painted wools, and then I like that it's so biodegradable. I like the source of having animal in my art. So this is the study to enable me to do that next step, which is the tapestry. And then I chose a piece. I'm really interested in art history. Obviously, I have a master's degree in painting. So all along the way, I've been studying art history. I like African art history. And that is a sculpture that I tried to bring to life. Like I wanted it anthropomorphic, I wanted it alive, but it's also a sculpture. And I gave it, it's black, sort of like, it's all ebony, the actual piece. And I just gave it some vibrant color and worked with the head dress a little bit, made it more leaf-like than it actually is. And I wanted to be not an appropriator, even though I am clearly of African descent. I wanted it to be from my African people, from, you know, people that I am actually genetically related to. So that's what I'm doing with this new work is um, extracting from the tribes that I get back on my tests, and then seeing how I feel in that relationship. I really also I like her hands. It was kind of a mistake. It's like, oh God, why are her hands like that? But she's been digging up roots. So, you know, her hands are a little bit full of earth right now. And then she is in between two larger trees, and there are smaller trees and sort of leaves and things like that behind her. So yeah, I was really excited with her. She has cowrie shells as eyes. She has the extended neck and natural formations for her necklace. And yeah, I just I really look forward to the next step with it, because right now it's a smaller piece, but I'm going to make it about 24 by 30
Oh.
or maybe 2 by 3 feet. So, and then it will all be wool. and for a wall hanging.
That's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
Beth was asking the question. She said that the eyes look like cowrie shells. So
Yes.
you answered that for her. Now, Yamaja wants to know, going back a little bit to hoodoo, what's the
Yes.
difference between hoodoo and voodoo, she says, or voodoo and voodoo?
Yes. So now I hate to speak for things that aren't my particular traditions, and Voodoo is not my path. But my understanding of it is it has it's has more religiosity to it. It's I feel like hoodoo is definitely in the line of folklore. There's like just like a lot of, like I said earlier, practical um, practical remedies, home remedies, tales, stories that are wrapped up in hoodoo. And voodoo is beautiful, and it is a different path. It's a different path to the divine as well. Yeah.
So voodoo or voodoo
Yes.
comes from the Fon people in
Yeah.
Benin,
Hmm.
in West Africa, the Republic of Benin, formerly Dahomey.
Yes.
And of course, we know that many of the Fon people were transported in the forced migration to Haiti, where voodoo continued to be practiced during the times of Dessalines and Toussaint Louverture in terms of getting liberation from the French. That was one of the colonizers of Benin. They used those tricks
Yeah.
to seek their liberation.
Hmm.
And of course, aspects of that spiritual path have shown up in other practices. Similarly with, as you note in your book,
Yes.
far from the Yoruba to Santeria to Lukumi to Candomblé to Hoodoo.
Yes. Yes. And when I first started writing about hoodoo, there was like strong resistance coming from someone of European extraction that no, hoodoo is not of Africa. It is all of these other kinds of things, and I was like, oh my goodness, we're back at this war again. We're going to have a war, huh? Because obviously all of the rich Africanisms are just alive and well in hoodoo. And, you know, I just kept going and going with it. I feel like this book, The Healing Power of African American Spirituality, which used to be, it's derived from the Big Book of Soul. I call it a love letter to my people, because it was like, okay, Six Stones of Roots and Bones was kind of, it's eclectic. It's sort of like an entryway into a broad range. There's a little bit of Mexican, American magic, Native American magic. But as I've worked, it's honed more and more into the Africanist type of a vision. And oh, you got me started now. This is something that I feel very strongly about, the African roots of hoodoo, and I really shun anything different. I'm not saying that it doesn't have elements. It has these wonderful, like, it even has like Chinese wash in it, and like everybody, we're all sponges where we live. We pull from this culture and that culture, and um, that's fine. But the actual basis of the magic is the practices, the rituals. It's very African. So, mhm.
And how could it not be?
Yeah.
We're so happy to be here this evening with Stephanie Rose Bird as we launch the 2022 Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival. We'll be continuing throughout the month through February 27th. And so we hope that you all will continue to follow, learn, and enjoy.
Mhm.
So, Stephanie,
Yes.
take us to your house. What could
Mhm.
you show us to do to bless our own homes and heal?
Hmm. Um, there's so much. I mean, and in my home, I don't know, I'm looking out like just right by me. I have my lovely amethyst. I have charged stones all over my desk, along with petrified wood, which I speak about using also. I have my little dolls and um, my mojo bags. I love smudge sticks. Like I have all like cedar smudge sticks. I have them with a little bit of lavender in them and things like that. And then I have a really beautiful collection of brooms. I have a cobwebbing broom. I think I have two of those. And then I have brooms that have like winding, um, kind of earthy handles, none of that, like just straight rods. They're very much they're gnarled and they're of the earth. So um, there's a lot of
So is
magic
that,
going on around here.
I bet, I
Yeah.
bet. Is
Mhm.
there maybe a ritual that you would like to share, a recipe
Mm,
that we might use?
yes. I have one um, in my book, a Nefertiti milk bath that is quite nice. Um, Also, off the top of my head, I just wanted to say that I think that broom magic is really accessible and easy to tap into, and something that definitely should be done periodically in your home. So, with this particular bath and ritual, I just got really inspired by Nefertiti and her beauty and the whole involvement with sun and sun god. So I think it starts with uh, preparation with music. So you might have your own Egyptian music that you can use to evoke some Egyptian ancient spirit into your home. You could also do some drumming, but I just have a few tracks listed here that I thought were quite effective. Um, and then we're going to go into the salt and doing pyramids of salt for purification and protection in the cardinal directions of your bathroom. So northeast,
Mm.
south, and west. I love Dead Sea salt. I love the all of the different kind of salts. So a lot of times in my work, there'll be a combination of different types of salt because they all have their own different kind of energy. Then next, I used some oils that are distinctively Egyptian, like lotus oil, neroli, and the rose. Putting it on the brass plate. There's always symbolism in this work, so I wanted to bring the sun into the room by using the brass plate or a glass plate with a golden rim.
There's a
Then,
question, if I
yeah,
can just ask you, there's a
sure.
question here about the sun. I want you to come back to the recipe. But
Mm,
Christopher wants to know about sun gazing.
yes.
He's a little hesitant to, which I can appreciate, to do sun gazing, but he wonders about cloud gazing. He says that he's found this practice over the years provides a calmness within
Yes.
him.
Yeah.
And he wants to know about its realness as to an earth connection.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, I like to soak in the sun, literally. I will go on a really high rock, a monolith, and just lay there and absorb as much sun as possible. And now it's being even medically proven that it works to improve our what is the word I'm looking for? You know, the thing that we're all looking for with COVID, our ability to overcome
The
infection. Yes.
immune
Yes,
system.
our immunities. Yes. So, in terms of clouds, too, sure. I mean, I'm sure that the cloud gazing is a type of, you can divine the future and look into what's to come through the clouds. It's a type of divination that can be done. I like to actually make clouds with incense, like a um, a copal or frankincense, and then just read it from there. But yeah, definitely going out in nature, interacting with the sun and the clouds is beautiful.
Absolutely.
So yeah, then the next step is to just bring some statuary into the scene so that you're actually reminded physically of Isis and Osiris. And Ankh as well is brought in. And so after you set the stage, then there are these beautiful aromatics that are brought in to be used on your body. The milk or cream, orange blossom water, aloe vera, rose, myrrh, frankincense, essential oils,
Hmm.
mud, rose petals. We can keep going. And so, yeah, this is added to the running water in the tub. And you just to get in and relax and soak in the whole sensuality of what you've created. It should touch on all of your different senses and just kind of bring you to life and nurture you. You're already alive, obviously, but you're going to be enlivened further by doing this and focusing then on the flames and candles, statuary to take you back to Egypt.
Hmm.
It's really the idea. That's the point of it all. So,
So we're all coming to your house, Empress, for this royal treatment that we all deserve.
yes,
We are
you're welcome.
coming there. Your book has been called emotionally liberating. And
Really?
in reading through the book, and I want everybody to know that this recipe that we just went through is in the book. So you can have it at your
Yeah.
disposal through Stephanie's generosity. In reading through the book myself, I immediately felt kinship with some of the many African ethnicities, the cosmologies, and the practices that you reveal.
Hmm.
We just went to Kemet with
Oh,
Nefertiti and Amenhotep.
oh yes.
We went to Nigeria. In the book, you take us to Songhai. In the book, you take us to Cote d'Ivoire. And when we get to Cote d'Ivoire, you talk about the Baoulé,
Hmm.
that ethnic group, and concepts of beauty.
Hmm.
We have here at the Alegba Folklore Society's Cultural Center Baiule portrait masks
Oh,
that you know are part of the ways that the Baiule express themselves.
yes.
Tell us about these practices and how that relates with our beauty on the inside as well as on the outside.
Yes, I mean, we need to be nourished. We are there's a lot of trauma in many different of our areas and communities. So we need we need beauty of all kinds. We need to, like I was saying with nature and plants, we need to take it in inside of us, like through the sun and fire and different types of waters and scents. But also, it's ever so important for us to see ourselves in these masks and pieces of art. Like you look and you're like, uh-huh, yeah, I can do my hair like that, or, just that looks like cousin so and so, you just really relate. We need to see ourselves. It is reviving to the soul.
It is reviving to the soul. And now we have, some sisters here with us tonight, but we have some brothers here with us tonight too.
Mhm.
So sometimes when we're talking about these things, the brothers feel left out, but should they be concerned about these things?
No, they're definitely integral to, I mean, we need the yin and yang. We need both of us together. We need the male and female principle. And I hope that my work is inclusive and inviting to men as it is to women. And now, it's like this beautiful wheel that's turning, because I think that when I first started doing this work like 20 something years ago, I think people really thought that these baths and masks and things were the domain of women. And now the top has just been blown off that, and men are just as welcome. They know, they feel it, and they're into it. So,
The healing power of African American spirituality. We're talking about a celebration of ancestor worship, herbs and hoodoo, ritual and conjure. And we're talking about these things because it's intricately a part of who we are,
yes, yes.
intricately a part of who we are.
Mhm.
Now, as you invite readers to begin their work, you speak about Elegba. And of
Yes,
course, I appreciate this coming from the Elegba Folklore Society. We are here to provide road opening experiences for people like this
yes,
one,
yes.
this very
Thank
night.
you. Thank you so much.
Why is this important, and what should we do as we begin our work?
Oh, yeah. There are tributes that need to be paid. You literally need to sort of pay in terms of an offering, sometimes money, sometimes something valuable like tobacco to make fire, the cowrie shells. Like Alegba is, you don't get anywhere without Alegba. You need the door to spirit and metaphysics opened for you. And that is the way it's opened. So um, you must pay tribute, homage, and also be inviting so that you will have the presence with you as you do your work. So, yeah.
Indeed. And all of these powers, all of these energies are available to us.
Yes. They are available. And, um, it's interesting also because in Hoodoo, there is opening the way work. They're opening the way oils and things like that. So that magic from Africa is, you can see that really clearly in our practices. So even though like the Orisha are not were not traditionally spoken of in Hoodoo, the um, the sort of the elements are there that sort of make it work. The foundation is there. So,
We're talking about cultural legacies, all of this wealth that we hold in our spirits, that we hold in our hands. We're talking about traditions, ancestral messages that have been given to you, that are being given to all of us,
yes.
because our ancestors want us to win. And we're
Yes.
talking about the interconnecting properties of the universe, all
Yes.
at our service.
Hmm.
So, Stephanie, therefore, when it's dinner time, which is probably about now for some folks,
Yeah.
what could we eat? You talk about food in the book.
Oh yeah. I mean, the what I'm going to talk about is like the the soul foods, the greens and um, squash and pumpkin and obviously sweet potatoes. They all, and now they're considered superfoods. Before we felt a little shameful. And I talk about that in the book too, watermelon and things like that being called names to do with our beloved watermelon. So, yeah, eat all of your soul foods because they are going to feed your soul. They come from the souls of your ancestors, and they are just like the epitome of our nourishment.
We hold the keys to the future in our past.
Hmm. Yeah.
They used to talk about us bad, and now it's a superfood.
Yeah.
Which it has been all the time.
Hmm.
And so, given that, um, how can we influence our environment?
Um, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like the people around us or the environment, as in the earth?
Naturally. How can we influence our environment? I'm going to show another one of your beautiful paintings, communing with nature.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we just need to get out there, be in nature. I love what your earlier that question about reading the clouds. You can tell that
Mm.
my woman right here, who is actually, she's derived from a power object wherein a shaman has blown air inside and then it's capped up, it's corked up at the bottom so that it holds his power wherever it's taken. His power is there. But I saw it more also as just a figure or a person who could commune readily with nature. So she has her feather headdress, and it's flying up in the sky. She also has a plant slash more feathers coming out from her shoulder. This is another one of my tapestry designs.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's almost halfway finished now. And it is like it's 24 by 30 inches, and it's all wool and mohair and silk. Um, so yeah,
This
You
is a
know, one of the things with my work has always been the environment. Like, and again, it was a little bit before its time. I think people were like, "What is she talking about? Uh, this vegetarianism?" And now everyone's like plant-based and things like that. But I felt that it was important to bring it into the work and appreciation for nature, and awe, and a thankfulness and a gratitude always for our earth and our environment. So,
I think that when we're in oneness, everything elevates.
yes.
And those physical aspects, those physical man-made aspects that have the intention of diminishing us
Mhm.
cannot hold. How
Yes.
can this figure here in this beautiful piece, how can anything keep it down?
Hmm.
And I see myself in her.
I was going to say, she is all of us. And
Yes,
she, yeah, male, female, principal, all of us. She's the earth. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So before we close tonight, this has just been, as we discussed, a magical conversation. It has been just one that's so rewarding to help us. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, especially young people, I will say that we are rooted in the earth, and via our chakral connection, elevated to the cosmos at once.
Hmm.
And in your book, you talk about this.
Hmm.
And you also talk about holistic detox.
Yes.
Detoxing seems to be a thing these days. Everybody's detoxing this or that. But
Right.
what do you mean by holistic detox?
Yeah. It's means of the mind, body, and spirit. So we have to take time and clear our minds from things like our beautiful social media that we're on right now. But, sometimes um, have to sort of like, if we're always looking down like that, then we can't look up at all of the majesty of the environment that we're in. So um, you have to clear our minds, we have to open our spirits, and also, obviously, there are wonderful collection of herbs for detoxing the body.
Absolutely. And you talk about some of them in the book, not only
Mhm.
just as a list, but as a way to invite them
Mhm.
into our lives.
Yes,
So is this book a manual then?
it's a manual, but it's also a story, and it is the love letter that I mentioned. It's for, yes, it's
Uh,
for. Mhm.
Ifeyani Oshun calls your book a timely and much needed inclusive contribution to humanity's spiritual awakening and evolution.
Oh,
She
I'm
goes
so
on to
deeply touched.
say, I'm sorry.
I'm so deeply touched, yeah, by that.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Listen, all of those pages, you poured into them. She goes
Mhm.
on to say, Ms. Bird gives us a richly textured, detailed descriptions and powerful histories about numerous authentic African, African American, and Caribbean spiritual traditions and holistic health cures, as you've just noted, for the mind, the body, and the soul. She says each Afrocentric culture that you discuss offers their own uniquely captivating and sparkling messages about how to live one's best magical life, inspired by the ancient beauty and truth of African spirituality. Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, indeed.
And this is the gift that you've given us, Stephanie Rose Bird.
Thank you.
In your wonderful book, African American Spirituality. For those of you who are here with us tonight, we'll have the book here at the Elegba Folklore Society's Cultural Center. If you're in reach, we will have it when the 2022 Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival, goes live on February 26th and 27th at the Dominion Energy Center in Rhythm Hall at 6th and Grace Streets downtown. The book will be on the table there along with others from various genres. And I just want to say thank you, Stephanie, for joining us tonight. Thank you for taking your time to be here, to make the evening magical, and for enriching all of us who are here with you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to staying connected.
Yes, you're so welcome. And my book is happy to be in Virginia, like I said, because it's not only my father's people are from Richmond, but my mother's, all of her people are from Charlottesville, Virginia. So it's a big deal for me to be here today for so many reasons. So thank you so much for having me.
It's a big deal for us as well. And next up, tomorrow night, join us again. We'll be right here, same place, same time, 7 o'clock, for saxophonist and writer Jay Plunky Branch. He is an experienced performer, songwriter, documentarian. He is a producer and a musicologist, and he has composed over 450 songs and 30 albums and Juju Jazz Poetics is Plunky's first volume of poetry. About it, he says, I have taken to blowing my own horn, and maybe I have steadied the boundaries of ego and versatility by assuming to call myself a poet. Tomorrow night, he's going to let us be the judge. So get yourselves ready for that on tomorrow as we say farewell just for now to Stephanie Rose Bird, and we get ready to add her book to our library. Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight as we have launched in proper style the 2022 Black Book Expo, a conscious literary festival, and we have done so with Stephanie Rose Bird. We thank you so much once again for being here. Hang on for a moment if you would like. Stephanie, as we say goodnight to our Facebook audience.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Excellent. Thank you. And you are so welcome.
Thank you. One moment.